You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rudrance for Black and White Sports. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you guys and gals for watching our channel. Let's talk about WWE's former CEO now, Vince McMahon, and an allegation that came out many years ago. In fact, I remember the allegation. I wasn't even out of high school yet, but I remember the Geraldo Rivera show, if anybody remembers that. Remember Al Capone's tomb, I think, was a big deal. But anyway, this lady went on that show and claimed that Vince McMahon had taken advantage of her in the worst way imaginable, right? So, for years, that was hanging out there. And now that's been backed up by a former WWE wrestler, a guy by the name of Marco Mancini, that is now speaking out and said he remembers when the incident happened. So, we're going to talk about that. Vince is in trouble right now. He's in a bind over something allegedly that happened between him and a female employee from the last few years. Stephanie McMahon is now the interim CEO of the WWE. And after that came out, this former WWF/WWE referee, she's come back out again. She's come back out. She's like, hey, remember me? He got to me first. At least she thinks first. So I'm going to try to clean this up for the sake of YouTube. And for anybody else that might be watching, I'll try to clean it up as best I can. WWE's first female ref who claimed Vince McMahon blanked her in the 1980s reveals new details. This is the New York Post. WWE's first female referee who claimed she was raped, damn, I said it, former chairman Vince McMahon in the 1980s revealed new details about the incident amid a slew of fresh allegations against the wrestling boss. Rita Chatterton, who became a licensed wrestling referee in New York in 1984, had previously accused McMahon of forcing himself on her in a limo in a 1992 interview with Geraldo Rivera. Now, that's her, okay? But there she is right there. And as soon as I saw her picture, I was like, holy shit, I remember her. Definitely remember her from back in the day. Her allegations were corroborated by former wrestler Leonard Intezari. In case you didn't know, he went by Marco Mancini, I think, as a wrestler. In a new report by New York Magazine, which also delved into what led up to the harrowing encounter nearly 4 decades ago. Quote, he promised me $500,000 a year, she told the outlet. In the story out Monday, referring to the contract offer McMahon extended over the phone following her television debut with the then WWF in January 1985. McMahon, whose father started the WWF, had called Chatterton to tell her he was, quote, impressed with her work and wanted her to go full time. But he had a warning for her, she told the New York Magazine. Keep yourself clean. I don't want you messing around with any of the wrestlers. You keep it professional. The wrestling mongrel also told Chatterton she'd be on the cover of glossies like Women's Day, Better Homes and Garden, and Time. That does take you back to the 80s. So she quit her job as a delivery driver with Frito-Lay and began to pursue wrestling full-time. But the relationship soured when the young ref tried to follow up, and McMahon allegedly blanked her in July 1986. During the interview with the New York Magazine, Chatterton refused to go into specifics, but Intezari, a longtime friend from the business, corroborated her story for the first time since the allegations were made. Quote, I remember it like it was yesterday, he told the outlet. She was a wreck. She was shaking. She was crying. His stage name was Mario Mancini. Go look him up. He was a jobber back in the day. As soon as you see him, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I remember him. Said soon after the incident, by the way, he was The Undertaker's first opponent, I think. She said soon after the incident, she found Chatterton standing by herself close to the wrestling ring, and when she saw him, she burst into tears and told him she was in McMahon's limo when he took his blank out. Holy shit. He forced himself on her, let's just put it that way. And Chatterton told the outlet the attack happened after she asked McMahon to discuss her career, and he told her to meet her at a diner after a show. Later, while sitting in a big round table with about a dozen others, Chatterton brought up her career, but McMahon told her to keep quiet, she told the outlet. He put a finger to his mouth with a shush shine. When I came out of the ladies' room, McMahon was standing there, and he says, I don't want to talk to you about your career in front of all these people. It's none of their business. He suggested the two go to another diner down the street. When she left the restaurant, McMahon said he was tired and asked to speak inside the limo. It'll only take about 10 minutes. Okay. During the interview with Rivera, Chatterton claimed McMahon then unzipped his pants and went from there. Chatterton told Rivera that McMahon asked how her daughter planned to go to college and said, of course, she doesn't have to go to college. Okay, so he basically said, look, if you tell anybody, you're going to lose all this money. When I couldn't complete his desires, he got really angry, started ripping off my jeans, pulled me on top of him, and as you can imagine, okay. He told me he could make or break me. If I didn't satisfy him, I was blackballed. That was done. That was it. I was done. Speaking to the New York Magazine, Chatterton recalled what McMahon said once the attack was over. One of the things that sticks with me and always will was after he got done doing his business, he looked at me and said, remember when I told you not to mess with any wrestlers? Well, you just did. Following the attack, Chatterton told the magazine she went to the diner's restroom, cried her heart out before going home and taking a 5-hour shower. Jesus. While she did contact a lawyer in hopes of holding McMahon accountable, she ultimately decided against it. It came down to his word against mine, and because I took a shower and didn't go to the hospital, I was scared he was powerful, and it was going to be him over me. When Chatterton first told Rivera her story in 1992, the WWE was already in the midst of numerous scandals, and her claims were buried in the noise. Soon she left wrestling altogether and became a youth counselor. Earlier this year, McMahon was accused of paying millions of dollars in hush money to a female employee he had had an affair with, leading to his resignation as role of CEO and chairman of the WWE. The fresh claims are what inspired Chatterton and Intezari to speak out after so much time had passed. I'm sure others will come forward because we're not the only two. There's not a doubt in my mind about that. As far as wrestling goes, I guess I'm the first in a lot of things. As far as I know, I'm the first to come out with the whole issue of what a scumbag he was or is. Intezari, who avoided speaking negatively about McMahon in the past, agreed. I'll tell you why I'm hopping on the bandwagon now, he said. There's worse stuff than that. The WWE did not respond to requests. So, wow. Now look, we don't really know what happened. We know what she's saying. I'm sure McMahon, I don't know, maybe he won't respond. Maybe he won't respond. But this wrestler, Marco Mancini, said he remembers her saying this happened back in the day. Again, we're talking allegedly. We don't know what really happened with this. This is crazy. I saw this and was like, wait a minute. I remember her being on Geraldo Rivera. I'm doing a video on this. Absolutely nuts. Vince is gone, I guess. I heard he showed up on SmackDown, but it was like the day of resignation or the day before or something like that. Because, honestly, Vince had turned into as much of a around-the-ring, in-ring personality as any of the wrestlers, and has been for the last 25 years probably. Well back as WWE Raw was really getting into that attitude era, Raw is War stuff. That's when Vince, of course, took to the ring, had the famous feud with Stone Cold Steve Austin, which is historic in wrestling terms. Still some of the most entertaining television I've ever seen in my entire life. was Stone Cold and Vince McMahon feuding for what seemed like a damn decade, you know? Because Vince could always pop into every other feud he had, you know, and jazz it up a little bit. Let's put it that way. Tell me what you think, black and white sports fans. We don't know what's going on. We got Deshaun Watson out there. He's in a hearing today. We've got this. A lot of craziness going on in the world of sports or sports entertainment. And Vincent K. McMahon, may or may not be involved in it. We don't know for sure. Peace. I'm out. Till next time. Black and White Network supporters, make sure you check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. Link in the description. Use promo code USA First, all one word. USA First, all one word. 25% off now.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.